actually started and stopped this video several times, mainly because I don't know how to start it. You'll be seeing this on September 23rd, and this was the day 8 years ago that my life changed drastically. I was between life and death, and it's all because of a thunderclap headache. I'm a migraine sufferer all my life, but that day was different. I was on my mom's porch. I was playing with our Brindle boxer, and I remember I jumped one time too many, and all of a sudden it was a headache that came out of nowhere. I made it back to the house. As many of you see on our video, Mama's house is not that far from ours. Barely got into the door. I did the one thing I shouldn't have done that day. I took a BC powder for a headache. BC powders are blood thinners. And laid down. I bet I wasn't in bed 5 minutes, and I knew right then I need to go to the hospital. So I told my husband, I said, please take me to the hospital. He said, okay. For anybody that knew me back then, I never left the house without my hair comb, my toothbrush, my makeup on, my clothes on. That particular day, I don't think I did any of it. I remember having flannel pants on, pajama pants, because it was September 23rd and cool. I remember that part. Remember going to the house. I remember my husband taking me to the hospital. I remember being in a little waiting area, him begging for them to go ahead and see me, and I remember the doctor saying, well, is she throwing up? About that time, I was throwing up. They wasted no time after that. I'm not sure exactly if they did a CAT scan, MRI, or what they did, but they found out what caused my thunderclap headache. I had 2 aneurysms back here. This is why it's been so hard to talk. Until I get my composure, I'm going to show you a clip from a nice gentleman that I met on an errand that I was running, and we got to talking, and he told me a story about his wife that I so relate to, and it was almost like I was meant to meet him. I told him that's one of the main reasons I had started doing YouTube, and was because of my short-term memory. I'll get back into more why later, but I'm going to let you listen to him and hear the story he has to tell. We were actually totally on a different subject, and when he found out I'd had 2 ruptured brain aneurysms, he told me a story about his wife. So here we go. Okay.
But she had this hemorrhage in the brain. Right the day after the 9/11.
Right.
And she was out of the plant, so she didn't even have her pocketbook. She was in clothes that they wore in the plant.
Right.
And shoes and whatever. And they locked down everything. She couldn't get back to the plant and get nothing.
Right.
She didn't even have a driver's license. She didn't have nothing.
Bless her heart.
Didn't have the keys for the car. So there's a guy brought her home, and the next morning I took her to work. And there's a line a mile long to get in, because they're checking everybody. They told them to bring any kind of identification they had, bank statements.
Right,
so she gives that stuff. And while she's standing in line, she got filmed it. And she was standing in line right in front of medical. She said, I'm gonna go in here. So she walked in there, and they asked her what's the matter, and she said, I don't know. She said, I don't feel good. I think I'm gonna pass out. So they checked her out, loaded her in the ambulance to the hospital. Because they wanted her out of there with all that going on. they call me. I beat her to the hospital over it.
It sounds, yeah.
And she went unconscious for over a month.
Bless her heart.
I thought she got.
Yeah.
You know, the doctor would tell me. We don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you what I can tell you. We don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
If it keeps bleeding, she's going to pass. Well, it stopped. Then it started. One of the most amazing things I thought, they put a hole on top of her head to drain the extra fluid to keep from messing the brain.
Yeah, right.
And they had a tube over to a bottle on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And how they adjusted that, they had a 4-foot carpenter's level. Put it on top of her head in that bottle and adjust the flow.
Wow, I didn't know. I didn't know.
That is
That's high tech.
I didn't know they did it that way. I knew about putting the tubes in to drain fluid, but I didn't know they did that.
But anyway, she stopped bleeding and went in, and they cut. It was the artery. It goes right up between the two lobes of the brain.
Right.
And there was a big hole popped in it.
It's from aneurysm.
Yeah. So they cut a hole in her head, went in there and fixed that.
Mm-hmm.
And she come out and she's still alive.
She's doing good.
Oh yeah. But she had one change in her life. She was the tightest woman I ever did.
Uh-huh.
She's completely different. Money means nothing.
I need to talk to your wife maybe for my video and see, because you know what? Your filters are gone. Some of your filters that you have before you have a hemorrhage are no longer there after you have it.
Yeah.
You're totally different on some things. My doctor asked me, said, have your friends said that you act different or do different? And I said, no, not really.
They wouldn't tell me how she would be. We can't tell.
They don't know.
We don't know. You know, she may be rest of her life, whatever, but that's the only change we could find.
Well, you know what? She was blessed.
Yeah.
I am too, because I had grandfather's die from it, and my aunt's in a wheelchair from it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm walking and talking and doing. I couldn't work anymore, but I still do things.
Well, why don't you take him and get him some? Okay, that's fine.
And your wife's name is what?
Betty Lyons.
Betty Lyons.
I'm Charlie.
I think I'm ready to start again before I get Eli. At least a little bit of it. But I hope that something that this young gentleman that you seen talked about will help someone. September is Brain Aneurysm Awareness Month, and I said I was going to put out a video on my anniversary date, and we call it anniversary because of the aneurysm. But mine was located in the lower left ICU artery, and I had 2 of them. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show a picture of what an aneurysm looks like on an artery. But in the case of when mine ruptured and I was taken to another hospital, they had 2 surgeons lined out. One to open up my skull and do surgery, and another one to go through the groin to do coils, stents, whatever needed to be done. They had both doctors there. From the time I left the first hospital, when they told me I had a brain aneurysm, they gave me something, I was out. Really don't know when I woke up. My husband told me I was in the coma in the beginning. They had to get me stabilized to even take me into the surgery. If I hadn't survived that fateful day and been here today, I have somebody in the back seat I wouldn't got to see growing up. That's one of my whole purposes of being here, is to torment this little fella, ain't it, honey? You don't remember Mama before her aneurysm, do you? Nope. What kind of Mama am I? A good one? Yeah. Yay! I'm a good Mama, people. Hello. It's me again. Eli and I made it home, and getting a little chillier, so I actually put a vest on. I wear them a lot in the fall and the spring. But, so you got to see the story of the gentleman's wife and what she suffered after 4 weeks in a coma from a brain aneurysm bleed, and how after 19 years she's still doing good. It happened in 2011, 9/11, 2011. I told him it's kind of odd that it was at that date because I was at home recouping from a hysterectomy at that time. But the reason my quick reaction to my headaches was my family has a history of aneurysms, and so I kind of knew about them already. I got pockets right here. Trying to get my coffee. But, yeah. My aunt's in a wheelchair from one. Well, folks, I'm going to try to finish this little part up tonight, I hope. I'm getting so tired. But, yeah, my aunt had a ruptured aneurysm when I think she was 48 or 49. And I think she's 70 now. But she has never been able to really be on her own since then. And she's in a wheelchair and has to have constant help. My grandfather over here, they believe, died of a brain bleed. They're not, the story I'm being told, not sure if he got kicked by a mule or if he just had a brain bleed, but he was in his 50s. And my great-grandfather in Germany complained of a headache when he got home from work one day, said he was going to lay down for a while, and he never woke up. And although they didn't do an autopsy back then, that was before World War II, we're pretty sure that's what he died from, considering that he had the major headache. I keep adjusting because I've got pockets in my lap. He just jumped down. So I knew the history of them and the urgency of getting help. My aunt's daughter happened to be at her house when she had her aneurysm, so that is what saved her for sure. Since I've had my aneurysm, my niece Amanda's uncle, that was also in his 50s, had the same type of rupture that I had, was at the same hospital, had the same doctors, and bless his heart, he didn't survive. I've never asked why me. I was going through a lot of other things at the time, and never asked why me. I just knew that once I finally came to and stuff and got home, I thought life was supposed to be like normal. I didn't realize I still had a lot of obstacles ahead. Trust me, not near as many as most people that have aneurysms that rupture. I think it's like 50% don't even make it to the hospital, and I forget how many survive after they do. I do know I'm blessed. Tonight my focus isn't too good, so I think I'm going to end the video here instead of giving the picture of an aneurysm and stuff, because I still like to tell you a little bit more about what you can expect from a brain aneurysm. So I hope you stay tuned for part 2. I hope I'm a little bit more alert, a little bit more energetic, and able to talk a little bit more. I'll read the signs off to look for a brain aneurysm rupture. I'll give you some sites that you can go check it out. My daughter and mom actually both, I believe, have been tested. I know for sure Michelle's been tested for a brain aneurysm, and she's not showing signs of having one. I'm thinking my mama did, and I'm not sure if anybody else in my family has yet, because I really encouraged all of them to do that. Hi, Pockets. This is how my evening is out on the porch. Hi, Pockets. Why ain't you cleaning all Mama's junk off the porch, huh? Mama's decluttering. It's got to go from here to the truck to out. Yeah, it does. You gonna help me? I'm trying to get on my video. Between my family and my animals and stuff, that's partly what keeps me going. But I'm just going to wish you a good night tonight. I want to get this part of the video uploaded. And I'll go in a little bit more detail on the next video about brain aneurysms. And if anybody has any questions at all on this video, please ask me and I'll try to find the answers before I post the next one. Thank you.